Stiff truth.
Why don't we do a show? Okay.
Do it.
Quit fucking around. And oh, look at you. Hold on.
Did you make two of them?
No, I just made one. What about you?
Oh, I made two.
You did. I gotta go make another one. Hold on. What? All right, I'll be back.
We can go season 1 and have a break.
Yeah, we'll just see how we go. I'm gonna be okay. I'm gonna be all right. Everything's gonna be fine.
He's like, besides, I have a flask in here that no one knows about.
We need to coordinate these things in the future, Bob. But I'm gonna be okay. And I just feel like I'm not as prepared as you, which all of a sudden I'm getting flustered now. All right. Hey, Bobby, how you doing? Welcome to the Stiff Truth. We're doing it again, buddy. We're doing it again, and I'm super stoked to be here today. Bob, we got a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. There's a lot of things that are goings-ons, like I've said before. And before we get into it, though, how the hell are you?
I am doing great. It is my last day of summer vacay before school starts.
Shitty. I thought you said you were doing great, and then you just came with that one. So I don't even know if I believe you right now.
Yes,
because...
but it's today. It's not tomorrow. So we're in good shape.
I see what you're saying. So tomorrow, Bob is kind of pissed off, a little bit depressed, but today, Bob is pleased as punch.
Look at that! Look at that right there.
Now, Bob, explain the taste of the drink that we have today. Before we really get into the name, I want to really dive into the palate of this wonderful drink that we have today with a lemon twist. You mentioned something before we started recording that was quite appetizing, but I'm not sure if that's kind of like where you want to be all with it. But what is that? What does that feel like on those taste buds?
So this is a cool drink because it's a champagne drink, which we've been coming across lately. So we like those.
We do.
But it's a mixed drink that is then layered with topped off with champagne. So kind of like the last one, you start off and you're drinking champagne. It's pretty champagne-y. You hear that you get the lemon zest in there. It's lemony, it's champagne-y. But the cool thing is as you get through the champagne, you start getting into the meat of the drink. It really does taste like those old school lemon drops that our teachers would have on their desk.
Well, lemon heads too. Remember
lemon
that candy?
Heads, yes.
Oh, they were
lemon
so
heads and lemon drops. Yeah,
they were so good. And I like the way you explained it this time versus before because because before I'm not sure if I'm ready to just jump in balls deep with this one because the toilet bowl cleaner smell, although is nice because I do like a clean toilet. It's better than a stale shit smelling toilet. Not really sure how that cleanses the palate, so to speak, but. Yeah, no, I totally get the lemon head right now. I mean, literally just boozy lemon heads, right? That's pretty good. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's some adult lemon heads.
I think it's got a way better name though, because the Hanky Panky, isn't that fun? Isn't that great? Because that's what we're having today, kids. We're having a Hanky Panky, and I'll tell you what, kids, this is not your grandmother's Hanky Panky drink. Let me tell you that. Although. With what I'm about to say, I'm kind of getting grossed out a little bit, and I just threw up in my mouth a little bit. But after me and Bob have a couple of these, probably will be getting into some kind of hanky panky like nastiness with somebody else, each other, ourselves. Don't even know yet. It's gonna be super fun.
It can go in different directions.
Yes, it can. But this is no punk bitch, as I was kind of saying here.
It's a strong drink, Scott. I mean, it's got 3 ounces of lemon vodka. So it's a double instantly.
Yeah, 3 ounces right out of the gate, and then an ounce of limoncello, which we were talking about before, is no punk bitch by itself. I mean, people sip on that shit in Italy. It's 30%. So they're probably getting pretty tossed just sitting there sipping on a nice glass or two of limoncello. But I'll tell you this, then you top it off with champagne. So champagne's like what, 13.5%, something like that, right? I mean,
yeah, it's like wine. Also, I don't know how you feel about it. I put it in highball glasses, but I think it might be better suited in a pint glass.
I was debating with that, and here I almost called you when I was preparing my drink too, because I was like, okay, and I'm a stickler for the rules too. Anal, some would say, you know what I mean. But I'm reading the so I was like, yeah, that's for sure.
You are a little anal.
Something about anal. But but when I, when I, when I was reading the bartender book, it doesn't say to put ice in the final glass. It just says a chilled glass, right? So I'm like, okay, I don't have any glasses in the refrigerator, so I already fucked up. I'm already I'm already going against the grain a little bit here. How can I do this justice? And I did think about it. I was like, well, it is like 4 ounces of booze, like right out of the gate, nothing else, and then a bunch of champagne on top. I was like, I could do the pint glass, but with no ice, that's going to be like a quarter, maybe almost a half of bottle of champagne, which I'm not opposed to. But I kind of thought, for presentation's sake, maybe I get the highball glass. I feel good about it because, I mean, I'm going to say it's like 3 or 4 ounces of champagne, right? 3 or 4. It was about, I don't know about you, but mine was about half filled with just the booze. So with the limoncello and the lemon vodka.
So with my ice cubes in there, I actually made a double in my shaker. Kind of finishing the recipe.
Yeah.
3 ounces of lemon vodka, 1 ounce of limoncello, and then you just top it off the rest of whatever your glass is with champagne. So garnish it with whatever the hell you want. Book calls for a lemon twist, so I actually made some, but I did a double so I could just make 2 drinks at once, but when I poured them in there, I couldn't fit them both in the glass. So I actually had some left in my mixer. I poured it into a third glass, and then I ended up making 3 out of a double with ice. So you're probably right. It's probably meant to be made in a chill glass martini style with no ice.
That kind of makes sense. And then like I would imagine, and it doesn't say like a splash of champagne or anything like that. So it's probably a healthy dose. You know what I mean? But you forgot to mention my favorite part too. Before you add the champagne, you got to put that shit and you got to shake it up. You got to shake it up. Michael J. Fox. Absolutely. Good friend of the show. He loves that joke. He said just to keep it coming. It's not getting old at all.
Michael J. Fox and Andrew Yang just keep it going. They just keep it going.
Oh my God. And you know what? I'm proud of us. And we talked about this the other day. We said, you know what? Hell, I got 75 cents in dividends. Let's go get some real lemon vodka, and let's not pussyfoot around and cut corners here and just like throw regular vodka in there. So this is the first time, I think, besides mango flavored rum, that we've actually had a flavored spirit in the drinks that called for it. Because sometimes I'm going to go ahead and admit to everybody here, we've cut the occasional corner here and there because, seriously, but
because for one drink, it's tough to justify buying a bottle sometimes.
But we did talk about it. If you're gonna have flavored arrays of booze, it's smart to have it in rum and vodka. You don't really got to go nutty and get the fucking raspberry flavored fucking juniper berry fucking gin. That seems weird.
You don't?
No, you don't. You know what I did see yesterday though, when I was at Total. I almost bought the Aviator gin just because it had a picture of Ryan Reynolds right there on the fucking. Look at you, you son of a bitch. Is that your second?
This is my second.
Oh, you dirty, dirty dog. You will hurt. Cheers to you. And let's just go ahead and really enjoy these hanky pankies, huh?
Absolutely.
Now, Bob, before we get into today's discussion that we're going to have, I wanted to ask you something. And you know what's weird? I figured it out after I thought about it, but I think I've talked about this on the show a few times. I tend to do some of my most deep and introspective thinking while I'm in the shower. So today I was in the shower and I was thinking about soft drinks. I think prior to that, before I got in the shower, I was watching a Mountain Dew commercial and it said something about soft drinks. I was like, what the fuck is a soft drink? Why do they call it a soft drink?
Did you Google that?
I didn't Google it. Initially, I ended up Googling it later today, but I think I already figured it out when I was thinking about it. I was like, well, and then I thought right away, it's like soft. I was like, well, I mean, like a hard cider and a hard this and that, like that has alcohol in it. But I was like, well, does that even really make any sense? I was like, it's a soft drink. So is it just like a drink that's not water, that's flavored? But then just to like warn people, like, hey, dude, that's a soft drink. So, like settle down, don't get too
Is it because
excited.
they don't have booze?
That's it. And it's a very loose term in the restaurant industry just to differentiate alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages. But
Well,
what's
oh, go
crazy to
ahead.
me is that how it went so far as just like a terminology that the restaurant industry used to literally being like the definition of like a carbonated soda drink. You know what I mean? It's interesting. I don't know why the fuck I was thinking about it, but I was like, you know what? I'm going to mention that on the show because I would imagine nobody cares.
Well, and to kind of put the old man lens on it, back in the
Oh,
day when you wanted a soda, they'd pour flavor in, like
oh,
an
that's
Italian
right.
soda, right? They'd pour flavor in and then
Yeah.
mix it with seltzer water, and you'd have
Hmm.
your soda. So you wanted a cream soda, right? It would be Irish cream, a little bit of half and half, and your soda, or heavy cream or something, and then mix it in with your soda. You want an orange one, same thing. They put orange flavor in there, a little bit of cream. You got an orange cream soda. So they used to make their sodas that way back in the day at the little burger hops, right? So
Yeah.
back before there was 40, 50 different kinds of
Yeah.
beverages to choose from in that area. So that makes sense that it's carried over to this far. A little kind of common sense history lesson. I'm not googling anything right now, but that does make sense because I've worked in the bar and in the coffee industry as a barista and a bartender, and I've definitely made sodas like that by hand. And of course, made non-alcoholic drinks in a similar fashion at the bar. But yeah, that makes 100%. I'd never really thought about that though, Scott.
I know, and for a while I had one of these like head scratching kind of like that makes no sense at all. I mean, like what's soft about this drink? If anything, it's a little bit more abrasive because it's bubbly. I mean, it should be a kind of a spicy drink. It's a I wasn't getting it for a minute, but then I literally had to think, and that's the first thing I thought of is hard seltzer or hard, whatever. I'm like
Hard
every time.
cider or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
hard cider, hard seltzer, hard kombucha, whatever it is. That usually right out of the gate means, oh, it's a fucking tough drink. It's got balls. It's got some alcohol in it. So then I thought to myself, I was like, well, maybe I just change it up here. And like when I asked somebody if they want a soda at my house, I was like, hey, do you want a bitch drink or something like that? Just like mix it up, have fun. You want a sissy drink? And then get them like, what's that? Oh, it's a diet sissy drink. Here you go, check it out. I mean, it means the same thing essentially, right?
Or maybe in our house specifically, you can have a stiff drink or you can have a
Ah.
flaccid one.
Yeah. That's it right there. Who wants a floppy drink? Anybody want a floppy drink?
Do you want an insecure middle-aged flaccid drink, or do you want a nice stiff one?
Who wants a like 35 minutes post Viagra drink? I'm gonna have one. I'm getting shitty tonight.
That's a stiff drink.
Who wants the yeah, definitely a good one. And you know what? I believe the hanky panky kind of falls right in line. It's a good stiff drink.
No, it is a good stiff drink. And I mean, everything about it sounds bitch, right? But it's totally not. When you're making this drink, you're like, whoa, that's a half a glass full of booze right there. I'm about to get into something. And then you start drinking the champagne, and especially now on my second one, you start drinking the champagne. You're like, yeah, this is cool. This is cool. Like I thought, little bitch, no big deal. And then you
Mm-hmm.
get about halfway through, and you start realizing, oh yeah, there is 4 ounces of booze in there.
Yeah, my butthole's starting to pucker up. You know what I mean? So yeah, and that's the thing here is I even thought to myself when I was making it, I was like, wow. I was like, for such a bitch sounding drink when you're talking about the actual elements that go in it, I did have to do a double take when I read the 3 ounces. I was like, oh, whoa, okay, all right, okay. So we're just starting off with a double, and then throwing some more booze on top, and then topping it off with a little more booze. That's my kind of drink. I like where we're going here. This is definitely one. With that being said, that I would bust out probably at a get together here at the house where I haven't seen people in a long time. This would have been a great drink to make when you guys came up for my birthday, right? Like right out of the gate. Everybody's getting some hanky pankies, no fucking questions, even one for the kids. And that way it'll put the kids to bed right away. And we can move on with life. You know what I mean? So there you go. I will say this, like you said, Bob, if you're looking for something that's very, very tasty, like you said, I like the comparison to a martini. You don't really drink martinis because of the refreshing taste, right? You drink it because it's super dank and it does taste good.
No, you pound one and wait 3 minutes, and then you can reflect on your day.
Yeah, you pound one, wait 3 minutes, and then you wait another 35 minutes for your Viagra to kick in, and then you get down to business. Am I right?
And then you pound another one. So, that's I don't know. I like it. It's a little bit of a panty dropper, or like in your case, it's like a boxer dropper. But
wow, he's pulling punches over here, folks. I like it.
But whatever, the bottom is really good. So halfway through your drink, you do get around to the happy ending.
Hey, there it is. Well, I mean, let's just get right into our first topic of conversation. With that being said, because I have a feeling that this gentleman probably popped a couple of Viagra's, prior to a couple of his masseuse trips, and potentially, allegedly got some happy endings.
Allegedly, right? Allegedly,
at least tried to facilitate some happy endings, aggressively so, maybe like uncomfortably so. But again, it's all very alleged here. But what's not alleged is Deshaun Watson's suspension. Now, was it originally 4 games, right? 4 games?
I thought it was 6.
Okay.
I thought it was 6, and then they raised it to 11 on arbitration, which is strange because the NFL appealed so Roger Goodell appealed his own suspension and then sent it to arbitration.
Okay.
It's a strange thing.
I'm looking it up right now because I can't remember if it was 4 or 6, and I'm okay. Yeah, 6 game. So essentially, and I think what the NFL was appealing for, if I'm not correct, is they wanted to suspend him for the entire season.
And that's what the players union said. No, you can't do that.
Yeah. It's like, come on, dude. I mean, he didn't kill anybody. Everything's alleged. You know what I mean? Don't act like they didn't like it. It's like...
So just to catch everyone up, for people that don't pay attention to football, Deshaun Watson is a top 5 quarterback. Not even a way around it.
He's a game changer.
Yeah, he's a top 5 QB in the NFL even today. So in Houston, he got in trouble the year before last when these allegations started popping up from a particular massage parlor in specifically, right? And it was like one massage parlor, and then all of a sudden it was just like 15, 20. It started getting like Cosby-esque, right? It was just another girl, but they were all kind of a weird thing that raises an eyebrow or two, is they were all from like the same place and they all had the same lawyer. So a little strange there. But anyway, he gets in trouble, right? The Houston district attorney is looking into it for criminal allegations and all this. And they drop it because they don't have enough evidence to pursue a criminal case. But all these civil cases keep lingering on and on and on.
You're right, these 24 hearsays is just ridiculous. She said so many times. Obviously, this won't hold weight.
So fast forward a little bit. Houston doesn't play him. They just suspend him internally, indefinitely until all this gets sorted out. Probably a good move on their part. They have nothing to lose. They're like the worst team in the league. So then he goes to Cleveland. They give the farm for this guy. Right?
They really do.
They give like 3 first-round picks, like all kinds of shit they gave for this guy. Signed him to $150-some million deal for like 4 years or 3 years or whatever it was. It's just ridiculous money. And then he's looking at a 6-game suspension. NFL goes ahead and suspends him 6 games. And then he settles all of these cases out of court. So there's no criminal allegations. There's all the cases have now been settled. But it is still lingering on and on and on. And now it's the battle between the NFL and the Players Association, Deshaun Watson. So in a nutshell, that's kind of how everything has progressed to this point. And this is like taking 3 years to play out.
Yeah, this is, well, a couple things that you said too, that, not only did they bought the farm for this guy, they also kicked to the curb an NFL starter too. And now we have no idea when this guy is actually going to start. Allegedly, it seems like he's going to start against his old team. But like you were saying a little while ago, there is a little slice of understanding here that maybe he like never plays again in the NFL. It really depends on how the rest of this shit shakes out, right? Because isn't, even though he's settled out of court with all these women, isn't there still going to be some civil suits, I would imagine, or no? Did that put all that to bed? I just don't think this is going to go away, and I see the potential for some more people to come out of the woodwork too about it, just because, I mean, that's
Well,
just
and it looks like all the civil. Oh, I'm sorry, it's a $230 million contract. My bad, I said 150. So
dude,
yeah,
don't do
it's
Deshaun
much.
dirty like that, man. You
It's
know,
much more than that. So I think all of the cases at this point have been settled, and there's no criminal allegations. So I think that that part of it's probably over. But if this other shit, so the NFL levied a $5 million fine outright, like a speeding ticket. You have to pay $5 million. So there's that. He'll miss 11 games. He's going to lose another $5.69 million worth of contract money from him not playing in those suspension games. So this is going to cost them $10.69 million off the top before anything else. And you can forget endorsements. You'll never get any sort of endorsement or money outside of your contract in this league ever. So I mean, that's it. Now, poor baby.
He may get to be endorsed by the My Pillow guy. So you never.
Now, interesting thing about this quarterback specifically is a lot of his game relies on his legs.
Yeah.
He's already lost 2 seasons because of this. And now we're going into most of a third. 3 years in your prime.
He may be fucking up. Like, let's put it this way. He probably could have had the best games of his life. Why he's fucking around with this shit. You know what I mean? Like, literally. Oh, wow. Oh, just so everybody out there in podcast land didn't see that on the YouTube channel, Bob just seductively pulled his lime twist up or lemon twist and threw it in his drink. Very, very cute. But yeah, so potentially he could be like Michael Vick, Donovan McNabb. I could go on and on about guys that relied on their legs heavily for their dynamics in the game of football as a quarterback. And yes, he could be fucking up and just kind of like dealing with all this shit through the prime of his life, and I don't mean to like be punny here or anything like that, but he's going to be losing a step or two by the time he actually gets back in there. And I think that's going to be detrimental to just the future, unless he can become a pocket passer all of a sudden and just stop running around. But I just haven't seen that with his game. I haven't seen it.
And he is a good pocket passer, but he's most dangerous, kind of like Aaron Rodgers. When he gets out and he's running away and he's extending the play, that's when his percentages all go up. His playmaking ability all goes up. He is a scrambling quarterback, not necessarily a running quarterback, but he definitely is more dangerous when he's on the run and he's out of the pocket because then defenses break down and he takes advantage of it. So I don't know. There's kind of the catch-22. It says he's going to be older and he'll lose a step, right?
Yeah.
But also, 100%. He hasn't been hit for 3 years. So there's some of that too. I really don't know. I just know that there's not very many quarterbacks that are very immobile after 30. Now, I named one of them. Aaron Rodgers is still mobile, and that's his game. Russell Wilson's another one. He escapes the pocket, very dangerous when he's outside of the pocket too, and he's over 30. They're both over 30. Yeah. So maybe there's a chance for him, but if you were the GM of a Browns team that you had just brought back from the dead, why the fuck would you hire this guy and bring that nonsense trash into your organization? All that risk. It's just very, very strange. Everyone thought it was strange from the very beginning. They already had Baker Mayfield. He's been shipped off, and now he's on the Carolina Panthers, looking like the solid number one, like no question. He's their starting quarterback.
And we talked about this too with him and Christian McCaffrey. If McCaffrey can stay healthy, all of a sudden, like, they are a threat in the NFC South. You know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden, you know, like, they're like, because again, Baker's not the best quarterback, but if he has a really sick running back that everybody's worried about, any NFL starter can be a badass quarterback. Look at Ryan Tannehill. Case in point, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, you get a lot of opportunity if everyone is terrified of you handing the ball off.
Yeah, 100%. So you're absolutely right. And, you know, it's funny, like, just to elaborate on that a little bit more, like, dude, me and you both, we've been pulling for the Browns forever, right? Hey,
Ever since the
Frankie.
Frank McCleskey days.
Yes. R.I.P. Frankie. We love you, man. But
For 20
absolutely,
years.
a friend of ours, diehard Cleveland Browns fan, he has passed, which kind of makes sense with what he was always about in his life, but still just a diehard fan. And I kind of picked up on that vibe. You know what I mean? I was like, you know what? I'm just going to vote for the eternal underdog, because besides the Detroit Lions, the Cleveland Browns are kind of like the eternal underdog. And they literally have been able to like just piece together this amazing team, both on offense and defense. And it looks like in one season, they're going to like rip all that away. Like they were like clawing and just getting their way to be a serious contender. And here's the thing. If Deshaun Watson can't play as well and he doesn't play till half this season, I don't even know if the Browns make it to fucking 500 this year.
Season, they won't. This season's going to be done. I mean, who's going to get them there? You know,
I don't know.
They don't have a quarterback. They tried to make a play for Garoppolo, but they didn't have enough to offer because they gave up so much for Watson.
Well, and here's the other thing too. You hear Kareem Hunt's trying to leave too. He requested a trade.
Yeah.
So like taking like the best they are right now, the best tandem running back crew in the business, hands down, no argument if you ask me. But you take him away, then you got Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb has already been injured a couple of times in the past few years. So like thinking he's going to take them all the way to the finish line and do a Barry Sanders is not going to happen either. So I mean, again, like Baker Mayfield, it is what it is. I don't think he was the best solution for them long term, but like coughing him up to like roll the dice on probably one of the biggest gambles in NFL history, like that's kind of what I'm seeing right now. You're like, you know what? I think for some reason this is all just gonna wash away, water under the bridge. Everybody's gonna forget about it. Did you hear? You sent it to me actually. The video of people like just yelling like fucking what like sick fuck over and over again when he was like actually like playing a series or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think people are gonna forget about what's happened here, even if it's just allegedly. He allegedly got pretty rapey with a decent amount.
He
of
allegedly propositioned on the flip.
Well, and the other thing here is, do you know, I'm sure we could look this up, but I like speculating without actually looking stuff up sometimes, in the sense like what was his actual charge and like what did he actually do? Did he like force women to make him finish, or did he just like give uncomfortable advances that they weren't very cool with? And
there's
then,
no public details because the civil cases were settled out of court and the criminal cases were not pursued. So there's no public details around here. So we can only be left to speculation.
I just wonder if he had this elaborate like fucking strategy. Like he's got like the massage room like rigged or whatever. As soon as they come in, like the door locks. Barry White,
like Matt Lauer style.
Barry White starts playing, candles light up all of a sudden. He's got all kinds of fucking oil all over himself.
It's not even a happy ending. He's just like, he walks in naked holding his Johnson and he's just like, hey girl, this is the only thing I need massage. So go to town.
Yo, this is really sore. I just need you to work it out. I need you to release the stress. You know what I'm saying?
So I don't know. And it's so weird being a starting quarterback in the NFL team and being like adored by the city you live in. Like, why don't you just go get some strange if that's what you're looking for? Well, I'm sure you can find a groupie type girl that'll give you an H-day on command. Like why do you need to pay for it?
To be fair, the city that adored him was Houston. So I kind of get it that he was a little turned off by that. Maybe if he was in San Francisco or Los Angeles or something like that, maybe he'd be okay. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Like it seems again, and I think we had talked about this prior when we first heard about this. It was very disappointing for me because
you wanted to pick him up in fantasy.
I really did. And
we all did.
You know, and I actually thought about picking up this year too as a sleeper, like my number 2. And I was like, yeah, now I don't even know. I don't know if I can wait till week fucking 11.
You can't. Fantasy's got like 3 games left by that point.
Yeah, and I'm like to see if he even like comes out and does anything or like, you know, whatever. But yeah, it was depressing because, as you know, a huge Mike Vick fan. And when the shit happened with Mike Vick and the dog fighting and everything like that, I was super depressed too. But it's like, why? And this is even more of a blatant, like, just disregard for like logic and reason here on Deshaun Watson's part. Why do you do that? Why do you put yourself in a situation where you can literally throw away And I'm going to be dramatic a little bit here, but potentially one of like the most decorated NFL quarterback careers of all time, if he has untainted, like no interruption and being able to play through his prime as well. We never know the numbers and the stats and potentially some of the records that this guy could have broken, but I think that's all gone now. And, that's a little depressing, but here we are. Apparently, again, getting his rub and tug was a little bit more important than rewriting the history books in a positive way.
A few things are as important as a solid rub and tug.
Hey-o. Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. But time will tell here, bro. I don't know, man. There's some other things going on in the NFL right now, but this is definitely the biggest thing, I think.
Well, this is going to blow their team up, and then they're going to have to rebuild.
Yeah, dude, it's like they got a team of like fucking Egyptian slaves been rebuilding for the past 30 years, and they just built a fucking pyramid, and then some fucking asshole came and knocked the fucking top off the pyramid and said, "Now you're done. You got to go rebuild again." Oh, tough break, bro.
You know who else is blowing it up and rebuilding? The CDC.
Oh. Bob, you're good. Bob, you're good. Absolutely. Well, and I'm sure a lot of people saw this, but let's think about this for a minute. Walensky, right? Walensky, that's the
Rochelle Walensky.
Yeah, Walensky. This is the director of the CDC. We all know that because this is the lady that came out when we were nervous as shit about what's going on with the apocalypse basically happening in 2020. Let's find out what we need to do, what we shouldn't do, what we can do. And I think everybody on both sides of the aisle politically was like, this is a fucking shit show here. Like, what are they actually saying? Like, they're contradicting themselves like week over week. And just like, how do we even make sense of this? So here we are now, 2022, 2 years past. Monkeypox is also confusing people, and they're kind of bumbling that. But she decides, you know what? There's a lot of scrutiny, a lot of things going on right now within the organization. Let's just kick off an internal investigation about how we handled the COVID-19 pandemic. And you know what? She found out that she needs to fire everybody else, and she needs to shake up things in the CDC, which I thought was great. It's like, don't cut the snake's head off. Just fucking kill everybody behind him. Like, I don't really know what this is doing besides good optics for her to potentially just carve herself in there as the CDC director for the foreseeable future. What are your thoughts, though, Bobby?
Well, I mean, first off, excellent leadership. Now, I fucking run this shit into the ground. Let me just blame everyone else and fire everyone else to save my own job. So you're 100% correct. The CDC kept bumbling the COVID thing. With all of the documentation and preparation and other outbreaks that we've had over the last, 50 years or whatever with the CDC, you'd think they'd have a pretty good plan in place for pandemics, and especially something of this magnitude that actually is going to cause a lot of fatalities. But there just really wasn't a real seat of the pants kind of reaction from the CDC seemed to be happening. And then you're right, like every week or two, there was a different fucking statement that directly contradicted something that was coming in the last few weeks. And so this chick was leading it all, even if she wasn't in charge of that because she was higher up on the chain than that, right? Mm-hmm. Even if she was firing the right people that needed to be fired, she should have fired them in 2020.
Yeah.
And did something about it and took charge of it. Instead, she just lets it all go. And when you sit at the top like that, there's a lot of bennies and perks, right? You can have meetings in the golf course. You can go to lunch and write everything off or whatever you're trying to do. And you can make your own schedule because you're the boss, right? You're the big boss. You're the director.
You can legitimately ask for that happy ending in a massage parlor, and it's okay.
No questions asked, right? And but
Deshaun got that memo.
But instead, she wants all the benefits of being the director, but none of the accountability and responsibility. The other side of that is you get to have everyone's successes when you sit at the top of management like that, but you also have to take all of their failures. And in this case, there was a lot of failures to take. The appropriate thing would have been for her to resign and take all the blame and save all those dozens of jobs of the people that she let go to save her own job. Because she's a Harvard grad. She could have gotten another high-paying job and been fine. But instead, she throws everyone under the bus and takes no responsibility, has zero accountability for her failures. And now she's going to move on. And there's going to be the fucking blind leading the blind again and weak leadership at the top. And there's going to be no improvements until she's gone.
100%. And I've seen this before from the CDC in the sense that if she steps down, she can easily get a job as the CEO of a major pharmaceutical company. That's kind of like the career track for CDC directors, right? Or like back and forth. Like, hey, if I step down here, like there's going to be a very high paying, high power job at like Merck, Pfizer, or something like that, even if it's not CEO. I mean, she's not literally in danger of being unemployed for very long. You're absolutely right. But yeah, classic example of just sucking up all of the praise while it was happening, and then literally just like, yeah, no, this was everybody else's fuck up here. I got to shake things up here. There's gonna be a lot of things changing around here, but not you, right? But not you, right? You're gonna stay where you're at. And it's like, no, I'm fine. I've stepped outside myself, Bob. Everything's fine. Yeah, I thought it was funny because this is literally on the heels too of the monkeypox outbreak and how they're already fucking up like not, and now this is not all the CDC, but they kind of control the logistics of like, a vaccine and just that whole thing. That's, you had mentioned something a little bit earlier, Bob, like preparing for the COVID-19 is like kind of their job. That is their fucking job. The CDC is there. That's an organization solely to be prepared for when fucking diseases get out of hand and it could threaten humanity, right? So for them to have zero plan, and it looks again like they're already fumbling around with the monkeypox thing. Now, granted, it's not nearly as transmittable as COVID, but still, bro, I think it's pretty interesting in the wake of what's going on right now that she decides to have these kind of optics just to kind of save her own ass. But
After she shakes everything up, I mean, honestly, before, but Sleepy Joe should fire her. Even before she shakes everything up, and let the new person come in and pick their own people. Because of this ineptitude and her refusal to step down, like he needs to just fire her and just claim the ineptitude of the position. And sorry, best of luck. You'll land on your feet. You're a Harvard grad. You'll be fine. Get someone that actually like makes sense to put in there and move forward. He's not going to though because he appointed her.
Well,
no president wants to appoint someone and then fire them, but he should because it would mean like that he's paying attention and he cares.
Right. And you know what? I could see them spinning this to where if he fires her, he could pick up popularity in both the Dems and the conservatives. You know what I mean? Like, hey, they obviously the like Republicans would be roaring and would cheer if he fired her, but then on the Dem side too, if you spin it like, hey, she just didn't do a good enough job. Like she didn't deliver the message clear enough and it confused people and it caused division. We don't need that anymore. I just see him being able to spin this to where it would make sense for everybody and pick him up some much needed points he needs in the polls. Cause he's, as you know, he's not doing well.
Or even throw a conservative favorite in the position. Mm-hmm. All right. And just kind of mix it up that way. But if anyone could do that, as far as the Democrats go, Biden would be probably one of the few that would actually do that. I mean, he left Christopher Wray in the FBI, and he didn't have to, but he did. He left dude at the post office, in charge of the post office. He doesn't have to do that.
I was just going to say, what do they call those guys? Not Grandmaster. That's Grandmaster Flash. Like
it's like what? Dupuy, the dude
post something general, the
postmaster general.
That's what it is. That's a pretty beefy position right there. And Lewinsky or whatever could even step down and be the postmaster general if she wanted to. I mean, the door's wide open for her.
You got to think too. The postmaster general is a big deal. It's kind of like being the CEO of FedEx. Like it's a big deal. So I don't know. It's just kind of shitty optics wise, and for her to think that like that's just okay, and then for the president to just think like, yeah, I guess let me just roll over and let that all go down that way, and he really has an opportunity there to step in and say, you know what, you're going to be part of that turnover too. Sorry, you didn't do a good job, and the whole country was looking up to you, and you just wanted to grandstand and get on the news every chance you can and give your little speeches. But like you actually failed at the logistics and opportunity to succeed. So
she's like, look, after now analyzing the data, if you're outside and the other person has red hair, you can stand 4 feet apart from them. But if they have brown hair, you need to be 6 feet apart from them. Now, if you're inside, that needs to be 9 feet. But if they do have red hair again, it's got to be 14 feet away from, because you can also get ginger disease, and that's not safe either. I mean, just a lot of crazy mixed messages. I mean, I understand you got to stay away from red hair people, but you know what I mean?
Just in general. But also, a new thing I saw for monkeypox the other day, which is it just made me chuckle. I don't even know why.
Oh no, Bob! Here we go.
It just said that 98% of cases are men.
Well, look, I don't mean to laugh, but I did say I called it. Was it a show ago? I think it was one show ago, maybe 2 shows ago, but one show ago, I said it was the new gay disease. And well, your data there, sir, backs this up. So if you are a gay
new
man,
data suggests that only 2% of women get this, and is that like, I don't even know. I don't even want to speculate on that. But
well, they have to be. I would imagine they have to be like pretty cool with sexuality, right? So like right after, like, Lance is done eating fucking John's asshole and then like kissing Tina or whatever, Tina can end up getting it. I guess that's just how it can go, right? 2% of the time. Watch out there, ladies. Be safe out there is all I'm saying. Keep it clean. Keep it clean, guys.
It was just a crazy stat. Like 98%. That's like the survival rate of COVID almost. Like that's like really getting up there. Like that it's only a man disease. Like really, like women just can't get monkeypox. I mean, I'd love to unpack that. I'd love to unpack it. Maybe next week we can dig into monkeypox a little more.
Yeah, I mean, I might pop it a little bit. You know what I mean? Pop a boil or so. You know what I mean? I might scratch. We might scratch the surface a little bit. But yeah, definitely.
We'll keep looking into monkeypox and we'll keep searching.
And 98 Degrees. It's also your favorite boy band too, which is interesting because I'm more of a Backstreet Boy fan myself. Yeah.
Hopefully, we don't have to search as hard as the FBI did at Mar-a-Lago.
You are on fire today, sir. On fire. But now, yeah. Again, we talked about this earlier in the week here. They need to find something, Bob. That's all I'm going to say. There's just a lot of noise going on right now. It looks like Trump's team is ready to fire back legally. So what do you think is going to happen here, Bob? And we talked about this too. Let's talk about what we think as the genesis of this too. And just, again, they say this over and over again, no matter what side of the aisle that you're on. This is an unprecedented event in the sense, I don't believe this has ever happened before on an ex-American president. Right?
No, of course not. Most presidents don't take documents.
Most ex-presidents are decent people. But in all seriousness, like this is unprecedented in the sense that there's never been the perceived need or want to basically go shake down, right? Raid, whatever you want to call it. The Trump team loves to say the word raid or whatever, but essentially the DOJ and the FBI had a warrant to go into Trump's private estate in Mar-a-Lago, which is a beautiful area, by the way, right there on the beach. It looks great. It's son of a bitch. I mean, obviously he gets enough sun, right? But anyways, took some documents, confidential documents, top secret confidential documents that, could maybe say that Trump was in an espionage kind of way. But here we are. We don't have any definitive, and will we get any definitive like understanding or facts that come out, like what actually was taken, what the details are? I don't even think we can have the details, can we?
So Trump's attorneys have asked for the affidavits used to obtain the warrant to be released.
Yeah, the redacted, the big black redacted version.
A judge said that they have to release them, but that the DOJ has the opportunity to redact the information. So they're just going to hand them a black piece of paper. It's true. This has happened before, dude. It's going to say, so we got information from black, and now we need the warrant. It's just
exactly.
That's going to happen. But Trump thinks it's so just kind of let's see what's happened here. FBI raided Trump's Mar-a-Lago residence to get some classified documents, right? They did get like 11 sets of classified documents that he did have. Why do they have them? I don't know. Why didn't he declassify them like a couple months before he left office if he wanted them? I don't know, because he had the power to. He can declassify any information that he wants and take it, but he does have to like run it through the declassification process, and it takes some time. But he could just prepare for his departure. So this tells me, first, he didn't he had zero expectation that he was going to be leaving the White House.
Well, and remember too, he didn't exactly leave the White House in a normal transitionary fashion either. I believe he was getting on a plane like the morning of that he was supposed to like actually have the transition with the Biden team. Like he kind of said fuck you to them when they were coming in. So I believe he took these as souvenirs, just like you do after you have a fancy trip anywhere, right? You go get some souvenirs from the souvenir shop.
Well, and we knew about it, Scott. Like we knew about it when he left. There was a news article that came out like that said Trump took documents to Mar-a-Lago. We already knew about this. Like this is a thing when he left. Everyone knew about it. And so apparently the FBI had been asking them for the documents back, and it led to this. Now I've heard who's it? Dan Crenshaw, a representative from Texas, an ex-Navy SEAL with the eye patch,
with
right?
the eye patch. He's
we like him, right? He's a maverick.
He definitely doesn't have soft drinks, if you know what I'm saying.
No, for sure not.
Drinking hard drinks all the
time. That dude shoots 151. So he was saying that I want to see proof that they were that Trump wasn't cooperating with their request to get these documents back, which isn't saying that he didn't have the documents. It wasn't saying that they weren't classified. He's just wanting to know, did they really ask him back and he wasn't cooperating? Because it looks like he's cooperating now. And it's just like, well, you kind of have to when they have a warrant and they come with a bunch of FBI agents. But I get what you're saying. And that's a big deal. Like, where's the transparency? I think it's a little fucked up because right now there's an investigation. They actually have to tie what criminal charges they're searching for that the warrant would turn up evidence to chase after and use to try to prosecute on these charges. And that's how you go. And that's kind of the affidavit part, right? That's how you go get the approval from the judge. So, there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. All right. And I think because it's an ongoing investigation, I don't know if we'll know. And if it turns up that they don't feel like they have the evidence to prosecute, that's going to be the worst thing ever, because then it's going to look real bad.
Well, and here's what it's going to look like. What we talked about the other day. If they don't have enough to prosecute, this is all just like, this is all going to be conceived and perceived, right? Because conceived by the Biden team, right? It's going to be like he was out to get him, like, or just the left in general. And they're probably going to group them all together, just which makes sense with the tribal thing. But they're going to be like, and we talked about this the other day, like, Trump is still very, very strong presence in the Republican Party, has a lot of power there. We've seen it recently with his backed candidates, like kicking out Liz Cheney and other incumbent Republicans, just making shitty situations shittier, right? But still kind of spells trouble for the Democratic Party, because they don't really have very strong candidates when it comes to the presidency. As we both know, it doesn't really make sense for Joe to run again. I know he said he's going to, but it seems like they're kind of positioning this as like they're getting scared. Looks like Trump can legitimately be the candidate again for the presidency, potentially win the White House again. We can't have that happen. Let's get after this fucking guy, and let's just fucking put the nail in the coffin. Let's end this fucking dude, right? So this is what all the Trumpers now and some of the moderates are potentially thinking right now. And the longer this investigation goes on, without any like true indictments, like the more distrust that people are going to have in the DOJ.
100%, dude. If they're going to bring up indictments, they need to bring them like now. Like bring them now and just like, all right, guys, here it is. We got all this evidence, and this is for these indictments. We feel that we have enough with this evidence. Here it is. Boom. Trump, you're indicted. You're charged with all this. Of course, that decision will be made by a grand jury, which does exist right now, because they probably needed their approval to even get the warrants to present to the judge, because of the grand jury power. So again, you're 100% right. They need to bring the indictments. If they had enough to get the warrant and they knew politically how this would look, I would assume that there's indictments coming.
Right. And that makes sense. So, but this wait and see game, because again, I was trying, as we decided, like, let's talk about Mar-a-Lago. We got to talk about it. I mean, it's on every single news channel, at least a good portion of the cycle of whatever they're talking about. They're like, all right, new things with Trump's defense.
Well, and as it should be. It's kind of fucking crazy, right?
It's a big deal. It's a really big deal. Again, this has never happened before. For us to actively go after a former president criminally. And here's the thing. I mean, let's just come out and say it. They're basically assuming that Trump was selling American secrets to Russia or other countries. Doesn't matter really who it is. We've got a lot of threats right now. North Korea, China, Cuba, Russia, just to name probably the hot ones, right? But literally, there could be the potential of him to be like giving sensitive information that could fucking bury us. Who knows, right? Again, I'm just making assumptions. And literally for a former president to be like turning over that kind of information, allegedly, it's pretty fucking crazy shit. I mean, no matter how you slice it. So I understand the reason for the investigation, but goddamn, they better come up with something because, again, the blowback is going to be ridiculous here. 10 times worse than what this guy is going to experience here in a minute in my background. You know what I mean?
Yeah, election. No, that's ecstasy right there. I don't know how you found Jerry Rice massaging Lil Nas X, but that's a great background.
Hey, this another plug. People just check out the YouTube channel to see what we're talking about in podcast land. But absolutely right. So I don't know, man. This is also coming at an interesting time in the sense is we're 70 some days, 78 days away from the primaries, right? Or from election day. Yeah. It looks like I've been watching stuff recently. It looks like the shoe-in, the lay down, transition that the Republicans were going to get doesn't really seem like that's the case anymore. You know what I mean?
They're losing some key Senate races right now that they thought were going to be just easy wins, like Georgia and Pennsylvania,
Wisconsin too. Yeah, Johnson or whatever is like 4% down to the Democratic.
And you know what? Rightfully so. They had this. Yeah. Right. And then it's a miscalculation in the Supreme Court bit. And I know it's like the Supreme Court, not politics. Is it? And this is kind of a long planned trajectory here. But then again, with this Mar-a-Lago thing, this could be another miscalculation if there's not indictments. Now, however, does the indictments come down and we're all like, that motherfucker? Could. It definitely could.
Well, and here's what's crazy. You know damn straight that indictments come down. It looks legit. People moderates, people on the fence are going to be like, okay, maybe I don't vote for that Trump back candidate now. Maybe I don't vote for that. It seems like, fool me once, fool me twice, right? The old George W. fucking thing. However, it's not gonna rattle his base. Like literally, they throw indictments. No, it's just a bigger conspiracy.
Of course, I mean? You can't disprove a conspiracy. That's why it's so fucking great.
Like literally, you can't do anything to make this guy not Jesus Christ to these fucking people. So, but it will turn the tide with the people that matter the most, and those are the people that are always kind of thinking, I want to vote with my conscience here, my rational thought here. And those kind of people that analyze things on what's going on currently and not just party line kind of people. Yeah, we'll see what happens, man. Because this could be a pretty big detriment to the Republican Party, no matter how you slice it here. And I mean, and at this time, I could say for the next 78 days, the Dems just can't fuck it up. Which I know they can do that. I know they can do it. They've got the gusto to fuck it up too. So it'll be interesting next few months. Is all I can say.
Yeah, and they better come correct. Or, like Deshaun Watson.
What? And that was so. Is that like all over your face? Then? Or, was he nice and just put it on your back, or did he get some in your hair? I mean, again, like,
I want to get a massage, but can you put me in like a milking table? Like, Google it if you don't know.
You heard it here first, folks.
We are so out of time. We're there.
Yeah,
we're right there.
We're right there.
I'm keeping an eye on it. Interesting.
We're right there.
I ran across an artist, and I want to give a shout out. I ran across an artist. I started listening to some of his music on Spotify, and a real Everlast vibe. Real cool vibe. And so I just want to hit it up. This guy, Gadgets Empirical.
I've never heard. And I like you're dropping this on me just fresh on the show here too. We have not talked. This has not been planned.
No, not at all. He's got some original artistry on his album cover that's real GTA 5-esque. Very cool. Okay. Everlasting kind of music, and even though he says he does rock and all this other stuff, I haven't gotten to that part of his catalog yet. But good vibes. I met the guy, real good guy, and I just want to send it out there. So Guido, check it out. I know you're always down to look for new music.
Boss, get in there and be the boss that you are, sir, and check it out. By the way, I just got to drop this in here before we do break too. Had the opportunity to go to the Corn Show that they kicked off for
so
their 2022 tour with Evanescence, and my goodness, and again, I loved it. 40-year-old man listening to Corn songs from the mid 1990s and late 90s was amazing, but they literally played like a 75-80% old school Corn dominated set, and pow, like just screaming crazy, just singing, just having a great time. Me and Jimmy had a great time, dude. Super fun. And I'm very happy now that we've got over the curve, so to speak, of the pandemic. I've been to see Deftones, Gojira, and Korn. Not too bad. I mean, I haven't gone to as many shows as I've liked, but to kind of like start knocking shit out like of the new metal gods of the late 90s, it's not bad. I'm pretty pleased with myself.
I saw your post from the Korn concert, and I've got to say, at our age, looking back at Korn and who they were and where they came from and their journey, to see a fucking venue like that, all singing like "I Got the Life" or whatever, like everyone knows the lyrics and everything, like they're a mainstream pop band or something. It was so fucking cool.
It was nice.
It was just. I don't know if we're getting old or
yes,
if it's just because all the old people came out to the concert, but it was pretty badass, and I'm pretty jealous. So I'm really excited about those posts. So if you guys want to see more of it, just and I'm sure Scott will send it if you ask him nicely.
I'll post a few more videos too. I got a handful of like 30-second videos that I took there too. But the other nice thing too that Jamie pointed out as well is like it's actually nice to go to a show like this where we're right there on the cusp of we're still relevant. Korn's still very relevant, but the average age of the fan is probably 35, 40 versus like 20, 25, 18. You know what I mean? So like the majority of the people who were there were our age, or give or take 5 years, which was really cool too, because then you just don't feel out of place. You're very comfortable in your demographic scene, so to speak, and then also the music is still very relevant and obviously kicks ass. So
and they also know how to act. These kids just don't know how to act at a concert.
It's
right,
true.
right, Travis Scott.
What a dirtbag son of a bitch. Well, as Bob said, we are completely out of time here. Bob, great conversation. Love you, buddy. And again, guys, thanks for listening. Continue to support us when you can, and check us out on all the podcast platforms. Like and subscribe for the YouTube channel. And we're going to be back at it again. I know we took a little hiatus. I had to get my computer fixed.
It's been a busy summer.
It's been a really busy summer. Bob's going back to school, but we still are committed to the stiff truth as long as the stiffies are committed to just enjoying the content. So we've got another great show coming next week, guys. So until then, we love you all. Be safe and make sure you wash your hands and your butt. If you're going to get a little bit frisky, I mean, just be careful with the monkeypox thing. It is dangerous. So
men,
guys.
See ya.
Take care.